8 of the PBA's best have come to the Motor City for a unique event that will test themselves not only against each other, but 4 different lane patterns. The PBA Tour Finals is next. It is time, bowling fans, for the 2018 PBA Tour Finals. 8 of the world's best bowlers have come to Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan, just outside Detroit, competing for a title and prize money. We start the first of 2 positioning rounds tonight. We have 2 4-bowler groups. The field will bowl 4 games of qualifying in the respective groups on a different oil pattern each game. The 4-game scratch totals will be used to determine the seeding for a separate step-ladder finals in each group. The final match of each group step-ladder will be a best-of-2 match with a tiebreaker. Now let's meet the 8-star bowlers with Kurt Von Kruger.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the 8 players in the 2018 PBA Tour Finals. Bowling in Group 1, the reigning PBA Player of the Year from Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Jason Belmonte. From Cheshire, England, he's a past winner of the PBA World Championship, Dom Barrett. The winner of the 2016 USBC Masters, bowling out of Austin, Texas, Anthony Simonson. He's a former PBA Player of the Year with 2 career majors. From Montgomery, Illinois, Sean Rash. And now your bowlers from Group 2. From Huntington, Indiana, the 2016 PBA Player of the Year, E.J. Tackett. He comes to you all the way from Gothenburg, Sweden, the 2016 Tournament of Champions winner, Jesper Svensson. From Yakima, Washington, the 2014 PBA Rookie of the Year, Marshall Kent. And from Simpsonville, South Carolina, 18-time tour winner, including 2 majors, Tommy Jones.
Hey there, bowling fans. Great to have you with us. Dave Ryan alongside my Hall of Fame broadcast partner, Randy Peterson. Let's check out how these bowlers got this far, Randy. 8 of the world's best on display. We can't wait to watch them compete.
Yeah, these 8 players had traveled the globe over the last 2 years and a couple of months and have really earned their way here. Jason Belmonte making almost $400,000. And oh, by the way, he is the #1 player on the planet from Australia.
Group 1 qualifying game 1. Belmonte, Barrett, lanes 9 and 10, and then Simonson and Rash. It is about total pinfall. All 4 on display at one time. What an opportunity for bowling fans to watch the best in the world here on CBS Sports Network. Jason Belmonte, top seed, starts us off from Allen Park with a stroke.
Great start for Jason Belmonte on this very short 36-foot Johnny Petraglia oil pattern. You're going to see all of the players probably using urethane and playing pretty far to the right for the right-handers.
Anthony Simonson has 10 down as well.
And the first 2 players proving 2 hands are better than 1 as they get off to a good start.
Dom Barrett, Colchester, England, 32 years old, also off to a good start. Now Sean Rash. From just outside Chicago. Grew up in Alaska. He's got 10 pin.
Somebody had to miss first.
It's Sean's turn to miss.
Sean Rash, a 9-time member of Team USA.
Tremendous career already for Sean, and he told us yesterday a lot more to come. Barrett, international star from Great Britain. Sean's got that 10-pin. Great to be back in this historic bowling center yet again. Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park. Only about 15 minutes from downtown Detroit. One of the top bowling towns in America. Watching Belmo from down under. Shred the rack, all 10 down.
Got a little right of target, and the urethane ball doesn't get to the pocket, leaving the 2-8-10.
Belmonte, of course, has that long trip to get here from Australia. Orange, New South Wales. Watching Sean Rash. Leave a 10-pin there. Belmo got in late last night, Randy, at about 10:30. And with the time change and the jet lag, he told us, well, I slept about 90 minutes by the time you got to the hotel and trying to make that time adjustment. A 10-pin there for Belmo. But if anyone can recover from jet lag quickly, it's this guy.
So basically what you're saying is he's nice and fresh.
Simonson, the young gun. Powerful. Two-hander.
Unique two-handed style of Anthony Simonson. A little bit lower rev rate than we typically see with players that don't use their thumb. And remember, folks, it's a total pinfall, 4 games on 4 different patterns, and that will determine the seeding for our stepladder finals.
How challenging, Randy, is that format?
It's very challenging because of the 4 different and completely unique oil patterns. You're seeing the players use urethane. Now, I don't know if Dom's using urethane or not. I can't tell. I think that's a GB3, but I can't tell for sure. But based on that bar reaction, I would say he's using reactive. But you won't see players using urethane on the 45-foot pattern.
So things will change. Strategy, ball choice, as we advance through this event. Four-seed Dom Barrett. Split takes care of business. Nicely done. No troubles there for Rash. Dom Barrett lives in Great Bentley. It's a village outside Colchester, England. All 10 down. Time for the hammer tough spare replay. It's Dom Barrett, Randy, just moments ago.
Well, kind of an unfortunate break, leaving the 4 and the 9, but Dom Barrett covers it perfectly, slinging the 4 into the 9 to convert that. Sean Rash did strike in the 4th frame, and it looked like a ball change.
Back to Belmo. That's on back.
So it makes Jason Belmonte so dangerous with all that power. He can still go straight up the boards when he wants to. And he can loft the gutter cap halfway down the lane.
Versatility for the #1 seed. What a player, what a career. Simonson would like to replicate someday what the great Jason Belmonte has already been able to accomplish. start. Continues that. All 10 back again for Jason Belmonte.
The only blemish for Jason is the ring 10 in the third. But this man here is perfect through 4.
Fifth frame for the young Texan. Stays perfect. A tremendous start, front 5.
Oh boy.
Whoa. We're lost that one.
I'll do it.
What happened, Randy?
Well, it looked like he missed it going right, and the ball fell in. And he knew it as soon as he let go of it. The good news for Dom is he's working on a strike, so if he spares here, he doesn't lose any count. Oh, unlucky.
Leaves the 10. And it's up break into the channel with that first ball. Back to Rash. Bear started bowling at age 12 in Great Britain. In Colchester.
Beauty.
Great meeting yesterday with Dom and his wife Cassie, expecting their first child in August. They're pretty excited, weren't they?
Yes, absolutely, and they should be.
Cassie, great bowler in her own right. Several times a member of the national team in Australia.
Rash in
Big 4.
Rash in big trouble.
Big 4, ouch.
And again, you don't want to fall too far behind in pin count, even though this is just game 1. You don't want to have to be trying to dig yourself out of a big hole.
Leads a 4-7, cannot convert the big 4. John Rash, open frame there. Qualifying game 1 underway. Jason Belmonte, world famous bowler, signing some autographs. Underway from Allen Park on CBS Sports Network.
The Johnny Petraglia pattern at 36 feet, then the Mark Roth at 42, Don Carter at 39, and the Dick Weber pattern at 45 feet.
Game 1, Group 1 is underway on the Petraglia pattern fresh. Then Game 2, Group 2 on Petraglia with the burn. A different look.
Absolutely, and that's a great point to make. There will not be a re-oil for Group 2. They will get to bowl on whatever this man and the other 3 players leave them.
Back to Belmo. Resuming action from Allen Park. All 10 back. Jason Belmonte. Arya, Hugo, and Sylvie back home in Australia. The hardest thing, he tells us, is leaving the family and coming overseas to bowl and compete. But he has a great support group. Re-rack. Simonson would like a re-rack here.
I always thought it was real
that's what I was
tough
asking for.
on the international players when they had to come to the tour here in the United States. If they had a bad week, it wasn't like they could just hop on a plane and go home. Take a look at the Johnny Petraglia pattern on the left here. The players are going to be firing it to the gutter, and lots of friction. Mark Roth pattern, well, there's multiple patterns on the Mark Roth 42 feet. The players can play up the track. They can play a lot of different angles. I think the scores are going to be really high throughout this event. This is what's happening on the oil pattern currently today. Unfortunately, you can't see the traffic all the way to the edge of the lane because there's not a whole lot of blue oil out there.
Off of the re-rack, Simonson. Good looking shot, 10-pin stands for the youngster. Only 21 years old. This in Austin now from Dallas originally. Belmonte. He told us he just has a great family support network. Mom and dad built a bowling center in Orange, New South Wales. So he grew up around the game. 10-pin there for Belmo.
Another ring 10.
And if anyone's truly passionate about bowling, it's Jason Belmonte. He wants to stay on top and stave off the young guns like Anthony Simonson. Big part of the discussion, Randy, with our bowlers yesterday. The next wave. How do you stop a guy like Simonson?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a player in this tournament that's not passionate about being the #1 player in the world. The problem is they have to catch this guy and figure out a way. Simonson, you know, he's only 21 years old, and he's already proven to be a major championship winner out here. Youngest player to ever do that.
19 years, 39 days old, PBA history, win that major championship at the Masters.
Back-to-back 10 pins for Simonson as Dom Barrett looks to double up here in the 7th.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, Jim Rome welcomes you to the jungle for 3 hours of hot takes, high-impact interviews, and a steady dose of the clones. It's the Jim Rome Show on CBS Sports Network. Barrett finishes with a 10-pin. Sean Rash won in this building. Ball swing 2016 Detroit Open. I told you yesterday he strikes there. But he's had a lot of success in Detroit, state of Michigan, and especially this historic bowling center. So yes, it gives him a feeling of optimism entering the shows we'll have here. Dom Barrett looks good.
Sean Rash getting up here in the 8th frame can strike out for 210.
Sean Rash has had a lot of success in the Motor City. He tells us what it feels like to be back.
Anytime you go back to somewhere you've had success, you're excited to be there. I've made a lot of TV shows in this building, had a lot of success on both sides of the building, but I've also had some downfalls. A lot of people don't really take much away from the winning part. You know, I always think that you learn more from failure and the losses. So knowing that this building that we're going to play in is going to hook a little bit, keeping it straighter and filling frames is the mindset.
And Sean's last televised title came in this very building.
Double wood there for Simonson. 2-8 standing for the youngster. Detroit Open title. Good memories for Sean Rash. Like to be creating some more memories.
310 pins, 5 strikes for Belmonte. He's at 227 pace right now. Simonson 236 with a spare here. Dom Barrett 196, and Sean Rash currently at 180.
Simonson converts. Belmo told us today, if anyone's going to take away my #1 ranking and all those Player of the Year honors, they're going to have to earn it. It is not going to be easy. He feels he can adjust with the very best of them in the sport.
That's dirty. Well, this hit here now allows Belmonte to strike out in the 10th and shoot 247. A lot of power and speed going through the pins.
Speaking of power and speed,
you know, I'm jealous of
wow.
I'm jealous of Anthony Simonson, not because of the way he bowls, but the fact that he can grow more facial hair at age 21 than I can at age 55.
It is an impressive beard, I'll give him that. Barrett, that channel, 7-10, and down goes the 10 for a strike.
Well, looks like he made another ball change to try to increase his chances of striking, but now Dom can strike out for 226. Big shot here for Rash. Unlucky.
Good ball, 10-pin stands.
Two different balls for Dom Barrett on his pair of lanes.
Ten-pin for Rash.
Simonson and Belmonte are going to take a significant lead after game one on the Petraglia oil pattern. Dom Barrett max score now 205. Simonson can still shoot 256. Sean Rash max score 189.
Seven-pin there for Sean. Now, Dom told us yesterday he wants to have more success in the United States. We saw the Japan Cup win over Cal Troop earlier this year. As he finishes up.
Yeah, he's not terribly pleased with that. You know, this could have been a completely different game if he strikes in the fifth instead of throwing it in the gutter. All right, 247 possible for Belmonte.
That frame works on a strike. He's back again.
Finish second.
First emotion Randy we've seen in this event.
He actually did that in his first strike, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but I did. I caught it, and I was kind of surprised. Belmonte finishing second in this event last year, losing to E.J. Tackett.
And Belmo told us, yes, that provides a lot of motivation. Anytime he's not the defending champ in an event, there's even more juice for him to try to have success and dethrone the defending winner. This guy's drive and want to is off the charts.
Likes it.
10-pin.
Well, he'll be in the 230s. 236 with a spare. He'll be 31 up on Dom Barrett. $58 up on Rash. Well, you couldn't even hear that ball.
Huh.
I'll tell you what,
For a few seconds.
great break for Belmonte, not so much for Simonson. Simonson now with a spare strike. Belmonte with a spare here. They're going to tie game one and be all even.
236 for Belmo. What a start. This show is all about positioning. 7-pin for Simonson. Hello and thanks to Tom Strobel, proprietor here at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, just outside Detroit. You've been here many times. What a historic center this place is.
Yeah, but Tom's a great friend to bowling and to the PBA Tour, and we can't thank him enough for his hospitality. All right, Belmo and Simonson tie at 236. Dom Barrett 205, Sean Rash 178 after the first game of qualifying on the Petraglia pattern.
Game one, group one in the books. Game two, group two is coming your way next on the Petraglia pattern. Burn this time. Tackett, Svensson, Kent, and Jones all the way from suburban Detroit. We are ready, bowling fans, to continue PBA Tour Finals here on CBS Sports Network from just outside Detroit. Tackett, Svensson, Kent, and Jones. Group two qualifying, game one. Group one, we saw Simonson and Belmonte 236 apiece to take the early lead. E.J. Tackett, defending champ in this event. 2-pin.
EJ starts out with urethane, as does Marshall Kent. Big difference between urethane ball reaction and reactive resin ball reaction.
Kent's first ball. Double wood for Marshall. Grad of Robert Morris in Illinois, that bowling collegiate powerhouse in Chicago. Great Tackett champ last year in Orlando in this event. They told us yesterday, yes, it provides motivation, but it's a fresh start. Being champ doesn't mean a thing now, because the other 7 guys want this very badly.
I don't know what that ball's going to do.
Well, here's Jesper Svensson, the only southpaw, and he's got the entire left side of the lane to himself. And you can see just how fresh the back end and down lane reaction is for the Iceman.
Tommy Jones. We saw his accomplishments over the last 2.5 years to help get him here as one of the top money earners on the PBA Tour. He's a big South Carolina fan. Don't mention Clemson around this guy. All 10 back.
Tommy going with reactive resin. Not this guy. Jesper Svensson lives and breathes with urethane on every pattern he bowls on. He's been working on trying to use more reactive resin, but this is his A game right here. Oh my. That doesn't hurt any.
Back to TJ. All 10 back, Tommy Jones.
And in urethane equipment breaks down the front part of the lane very quickly because of the surface, but it also drags oil down towards the pins and makes the back part of the lane slick. Beautiful shot there by EJ Tackett.
Marshall Kent talks to us about how emotions affect his bowling.
There's different scenarios where it actually motivates me, and there are times where I kind of get down on myself, and that'll affect me in different ways. But I do wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm bowling well, I'll be a little fiery, and if I'm not, I get a little frustrated at myself. And it's not necessarily my results. It's something that I'm doing. It's just mistakes that I make that, you know, afterwards I'm kind of like, why'd you do that?
10-pin here for Marshall Kent. Randy, what is your advice to a young bowler like Marshall in terms of on-lane emotion, especially on TV?
Well, you know, he told us in our interviews, Dave, that he has to make better decisions. So talented and versatile that sometimes he might get trapped, and that's just a maturation process he needs to go through.
We see Jesper Svensson with some power. All 10 back. First time qualifying for this event. Ryan Simonelli joined us in Orlando last year. Marshall Kent here in 2018.
Tom Smallwood just missing out in 9th, and right behind him, Bill O'Neill. And then there's that guy. He trips the 310 out, and then the late 7-pin that falls, and don't look now, but the Iceman's got the front 4. Tommy Jones perfect through 2.
'18th year on the PBA Tour, Tommy Jones. Wow. Messenger not quite tapping the 10-pin.
So much friction on the lane, and players have to really create a lot of velocity to get the ball down lane.
EJ Tackett. 9 career titles, 2 majors for EJ. From Huntington, Indiana, not far from Indianapolis. Tommy Jones, 7th seed. He's won 49 matches in his great career on TV. EJ Tackett trying to follow suit. Only 25 years old.
Uh-oh, look out, here comes EJ.
Big crowd here in Allen Park. This place is filled with bowling fans.
Great bowling town, Detroit is.
One of the best, right?
It really is. There's a guy by the name of Bob Strampy that kind of kicked things off here back in the 50s. And been a great bowling town, and Detroit and the surrounding area has been great friends to the PBA Tour.
Jesper Svensson, 7 titles, 1 major to his credit.
Almost looks bored.
He told us yesterday couldn't wait. Challenge of the different oil patterns here at the PBA Tour Finals. And getting back to the point about Marshall, he said to us yesterday that he's just going to try to relax on TV, have more fun this time around. He's been too tense. Sometimes the emotions, as you talked about, have gotten in the way of success.
It's just a really tough environment to perform well under, and again, it's a learning process for everyone. Oh man! I thought we had a chance of possibly seeing a perfect game after Jesper caught a couple of breaks there, but that one there was a vicious ring and 7 for Jesper Svensson as Marshall Kent converts the 10 pin.
Looks like Kent wants a re-rack. 7th pin down for Jesper.
It's funny when we talked to Jesper and asked him, hey, do you ever try to throw it with one hand? He goes, yeah, I'm terrible. So I don't even try.
We watched him during practice. He was fooling around a little bit earlier today with that. But not in a competitive situation. Marshall Kent looks locked in right now. Extra Frame, the PBA's video subscription service, concludes the month of May with live and exclusive coverage of the PBA 15 Northern California Classic from Harvest Park Bowl in Brentwood, California. Start to finish coverage starts Monday and continues through the stepladder finals. Don't miss a minute of the action. Get your yearly, monthly, or 3-day subscription today by clicking on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com.
And I do a lot of Extra Frame events and really enjoy not only the regular tour, but the PBA 50 tour and calling the action.
All 10 back. There's no question. Awesome service. Great way to follow PBA 50 tours. So much tremendous bowling talent out there.
I know you listen to me a lot on Extra Frame, Dave. You know, you blow up my phone when I'm
logged in. I'm texting you.
You're sitting in the airport waiting for your next flight, and then you're blowing up my phone saying, hey, Randy, why'd you say that? But here's a beautiful shot by TJ. Tommy Jones now double, 9 spare double. Marshall Kent, the only player that hasn't thrown consecutive strikes halfway through Group 2's game number 1. I wonder if he heard me.
Hopefully not. Your voice does tend to carry a bit. We're told it was a bottle rattle, lane level, not you.
I'm off the hook.
This time.
Thank you.
Tommy Jones, wow.
Beauty.
60 feet to success
There
for
you
Tommy
go.
Jones. That's my first one of many.
There we go.
At the PBA Tour Finals here in suburban Detroit. We are underway. Great bowling action on CBS Sports Network. There's a lot. Is E.J. Tackett the best current pro bowler on the golf course?
Might be Ronnie Russell.
Ronnie Russell.
EJ's pretty good. He's a +2.
Wow.
Ronnie Russell might be a little bit better. I think the two are fairly close, but
That's some really good golf right there.
yeah, EJ's solid.
E.J. Tackett. Looking 10 pin.
Very unfriendly. Not EJ, but this ring 10. EJ's very friendly.
Sure is.
A lot of talent in this body. Hits a golf ball about 300, 310 off the tee, and he's got a rev rate that's almost as high as the two-handers.
Marshall Kent. Wow. Dialed in the 1-3 pocket. Shrapnel.
But only his first double.
E.J. Tackett.
Missed it.
Oh, he misses that 10 pin. There's a rarity for the young star from Indiana.
Tommy
Tommy Jones working on a triple. Marshall Kent working on a double. And Jesper Svensson started with the front 5. Big shot here. Nice carry up. 6 trip in the 10 out. And there's a penalty marker out on the field. Tripping on the offense. 10
In
yards.
hockey, that's 2 minutes. In lacrosse, it's 1 minute. Probably 15 yards in football. I don't see that called right. Personal foul.
Yeah, it might be a
yards.
personal foul, 15 yards, okay, but
Spot foul. Anyway, let's get back to bowling.
all right, Tommy Jones working on a 3-bagger,
7 frame for TJ here.
looking for a ham bone.
I can't do that. That's not my stuff. Not my material.
Not going to say it. I'm going to say 4-bagger.
TJ Tackett looks a little angry at the pins right now.
Oh, he's angry at himself for missing the 10-pin. Happens to the best players in the world. And what a treat again for the 60th anniversary of the PBA Tour to feature this event that showcases the 8 best players on tour.
Tommy Jones, proud father of daughter Ella. She's now 12. It's hard to believe how much time has gone by. 6th grade already. But she's not a bowler. Double wood there for Tommy. Creative, an artist, and
Yeah.
they do a lot of cooking together, Tommy told us.
Yeah, he says they cook a lot together, and I know Tommy spends a lot of time with Ella when he's home and off the road.
Jesper Svensson. 7th pin. What power is packed into that shot. Incredible.
Murray, wow. He got just enough of both pins to avoid the open frame. Marshall Kent in a pretty good spot here now. He can close the gap on Tommy Jones and Jesper Svensson. Whoa! Another single pin missed.
To see that.
Yeah.
Star
Make
bowlers.
single pins and that,
Marshall Kent told us he works out hard. This guy looks good. I mean, he is jacked and
Phenomenal
ready
shape.
to roll. Told us yesterday he's in the best shape of his life, and that's helped his bowling game a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely got a 6-pack. I mean, I've got a keg. He's got a 6-pack.
Jesper Svensson. 8 frame.
Wow. All of a sudden, Jesper can't get the corners out. 3 7-pins in a row for him. And right now, Marshall Kent can get himself in really good shape here and actually catch Tommy Jones. Well,
Not quite. 10-pin stands. Back to Svensson. That last shot. That 7-pin.
remember the last time on the right lane he missed this 7-pin. Not this time. And he gives himself the sarcastic pat on the back.
$15 or 16 pounds, Randy. It was a big theme yesterday with all of our bowlers.
Yeah.
Marshall sticking with 16.
Marshall's at 16. Tommy Jones just
Went to 15.
Just went down to 15.
So
DJ
DJ.
Tackett went down to 15, and Jesper throws 15.
What is your thought on ball weight now with the rev rate and some of these younger players being so strong?
Well, you know, they're looking for different shapes. Their rev rates are so high that they can strike as much with 15 as they can with 16. But Tommy told us that the 15-pounders are a little more angular. And Marshall Kent said he verified that. He said the 16-pounders tend to read a little bit earlier and a little bit smoother off the end of the pattern. The 15-pounder is a little more snappy.
DJ reluctant at first. He told us to go from 16 to 15. So long he had been at 16 pounds. After the TOC this year, His dad,
little more
Ed, said
better.
to him, you're just not yourself. You got to make a change. And
A little more
let's experiment, drill a 15-pound ball, and see how it goes. And it went really well for him.
Well, yeah, it took him a little bit of time to get used to it and to get his feel for it and be able to do a couple different things. But I think he's right back where he feels he's comfortable. Tommy Jones kicks the 10 out late. E.J. Tackett's got a possible 247. Tommy Jones, possible 257. Marshall Kent, max score 238. And Jesper Svensson, max score 247.
Coming up, Game 3, Group 2 on the raw pattern fresh oil. Same four guys: Kent, Tackett, Jones, and star from Sweden, Jesper Svensson. That's next. PBA Tour Finals. First show rolls on here.
I'll tell you what, I can't remember the last time I ever saw Jesper Svensson leave 4 7-pins in a row.
Tommy Jones locked in.
Yeah, he's pulled a really strong game, and again, he'll be in the 250s. He'll lead his group after game 1 on the Johnny Petraglia 36-foot pattern. This is the burn. There was no re-oil after Jason Belmonte and company got done with him.
Belmo and Anthony Simonson each throwing a 236 in the first game. Late tap on number 10, and down it goes for Tommy Jones. Same group coming up on the Roth pattern, and then Group 1, Simonson, Belmonte, Rash, and Don Barrett. Ball on the burn. Game 4, Group 1 of our first show from here in suburban Detroit. Last shot, Tommy Jones, the Barbasol. There's that close shave replay in a moment. Tommy Jones, that was exciting.
Oh, that's in.
7 for Tommy. Marshall Kent. Oh, down goes number 10 with that tap. Perfect timing for the youngster from Washington.
What a break there for Marshall Kent, a little tomahawk 10, and he still has a possible 238 now. Jesper Svensson through the nose, leaving the 2-4, and you got to wonder, is it because of the 4 consecutive 7-pins that he left, and did he make an adjustment? He started off just on fire with the front 5, leaves that ringing 7 in the 6th, and then followed it up with 3 more 7-pins.
A little better.
A lot better, Marshall. Great shot again. Great strike for Marshall Kent.
It's crazy how this bowling works, the way Jesper started and the way Marshall started, and Marshall's going to beat Jesper by at least, or by as many as 14. 224 for Jesper Svensson. Marshall Kent, possible 238.
.238 after Jones rolls a 257.
Tight grouping here in group number 2. E.J. Tackett, possible 247.
Barbasol Razor's close shave of the day. It's Marshall Kent.
This is the first shot in the 10th frame, and the 6 goes into the right gutter. It just kind of collapses onto the 10-pin. Big shot here for EJ. Can close the gap that Tommy Jones has created.
8-pin stance.
How was for you, Randy? Where you at? How was for you?
I'm up here, EJ. Thanks. Wait a minute, my phone's ringing again. It's my therapist. Yeah,
8-pin references.
I could do without this, and so could he. I mean, that's just.
What's your Twitter handle?
It's dirty. My Twitter handle is
At least it hasn't cost me anything yet.
Donate RP. Thank
Another
you very
comment,
much.
E.J. Tackett, referring to Randy Jones. Randy
Jones, really?
Jones, Randy Peters.
Really, the 8-pin affected you too. Wow.
Apparently so. Great bowling here from Allen Park. Underway on CBS Sports Network. The PBA Tour Finals. More on the way. PBA Tour Finals roll on. Group 2, Tackett, Svensson, Kent, and Jones. Group 2 qualifying. Game 2, Randy, with a new oil pattern.
Yes, sir. It's the 42-foot Mark Roth pattern. Take a look at what the players just got done competing on. That was the 36 feet. 36 feet of Johnny Petraglia. And now you can see just how much longer, illustrated by the blue oil, that the Mark Roth pattern is. I think this pattern is going to be very competitive, a lot like what we just saw. And now this group, Group 2, will pull Game 2 on a fresh oil pattern.
238. Marshall Kent in his first game. On the fresh. Looks good. Tommy Jones, one of many accolades, 06 Player of the Year. 4-pin.
Probably won't see urethane going down the lane on this pattern, and you'll be able to tell just by the down lane ball motion. Oh, wow. Big snapper there.
– 6-9 lead for Tackett. Single pin conversion, no problem there for TJ.
Changes to the ball that he actually used on the Petraglia pattern.
Player of the Year in 2016, 2012-13 season Rookie of the Year on the PBA Tour. Yes, for Svensson in Orlando. Third last year. That's better than 1-2 pocket for the Swedish star. A great start to his first game. And ran into some trouble with the 7-pin, as we talked about. Back to Tackett.
Interesting early on how far right EJ is playing compared to the other two right-handers. And Jesper Svensson staying with urethane.
224 for Svensson in game 1. Oh, man! Pins have no chance. Obliterated in the pocket. 1-2 pocket blast to the pins. Tackett the spare.
Well, remember the last game for Svensson, he got off to that red hot start, only to come up with the lowest game of the 4 players at 224.
Tommy Jones told us yesterday, views his career as a great ride so far. He had some injury issues that cost him the top of his game over almost 4 years, with hip, back, and neck injuries, knee problems. Now he's gone to 15 pounds, double with there, the 2-8. But injuries, Randy, are part of the game. I mean, you know,
yeah,
physical toll. This is a very demanding sport.
I've had 3 knee surgeries, 2 hernia surgeries, so yeah, I can tell you about it. And I know what it's like to compete against the best in the world when you're not 100%, and it's a tough thing to pull off.
Double wood for Tommy. His last title, 2016 PBA Scorpion Championship in Reno.
Well, let's take a look at the shots here and see how much different Marshall Kent is playing this oil pattern. So that was 3rd arrow, and that was way farther right than he wanted. It still got back, but that was right around 3rd arrow. Remember, on the Petraglia pattern, he was throwing urethane straight up the 4th board. Oh boy. Tommy's ball's laboring down lane. He's in, TJ is in as well, and that ball goes 2-8. He might make a ball change. EJ Tackett's in and still going. Brooklyn through the nose of Brooklyn, his first 3 shots.
He doesn't like that location in the pocket, or missing the pocket. He'll take the break, though. And Tommy Jones with a very tough split coming up. Whiffs. 2-10. Misses both. Loses count. So the leader after that first game hits pothole. Tackett and company try to take advantage.
Well, that ball got down to about 45 feet, and then it looked like somebody kicked it left. It ended up in a perfect spot.
That's for Svensson. Played a lot of hockey and soccer growing up. Left wing in hockey. Offensive player in soccer. All 10 back there. About 13, 14 years old. He gave up other sports for bowling. He realized how good he was going to be at it. Bowling center his family runs was literally right next to his school. So he could leave school and in less than 2 minutes be bowling. Pretty good setup. Not a good shot there for Marshall Kent.
Can you show that split that he just left? It's very unusual. And I can draw on it.
Yes, we're still a big hockey fan.
Big golf fan now. He actually spent some time at Tommy Jones's house prior to this event, and him and Tommy Jones
They did invite you. I know you're upset.
Well, they got out to play some golf, and yeah, they didn't invite me. That's all right. I'll get even.
All 10 back for Svensson. Tough shot here for Kent coming up.
Yeah, the 3-4-10, something you don't see very often. And just takes the 10 pin off.
That was almost 0.
Almost missed them all, he said. But this is about total pinfall in this event. So we'll see how those open frames affect Kent and Jones. 10 pin there for Tommy. Now, Randy, Tommy told us yesterday that he thinks he can win this event because he's going to come in with an open mind. He's willing to change strategy several times if necessary.
Yeah, he keeps an open mind, an open outlook on all the patterns. And not only have they changed patterns, these players now are bowling on fresh. They've also changed the pair of lanes that they bowled on the Johnny Petraglia. Remember that EJ bowled with Jesper on 9 and 10, and now it's Marshall Kent and EJ on 9 and 10. Jesper's moved over to 11 and 12. Wow, just split the 8 and the 9 in half. Tommy Jones on the same pair he bowled the Petraglia on. And now Jesper joins him. Tommy having trouble getting his ball to come up the hill.
Jay Tackett has yet to defend a title. He told us yesterday what a big deal that would be for him here in Detroit. He's 0 for 7 in title defense events. One thing he has not accomplished with all the greatness so far in the 9 titles in his career, only at 25 years old.
Biggest stat for EJ Tackett isn't even on paper, but it's the fact that he's already Hall of Fame eligible at age 25.
He said to us yesterday that was a shock and a pleasant one. Fantastic news for the youngster from Indiana. 2 majors and 9 career PBA Tour titles. The two-hander from Sweden, the lefty, Jesper Svensson, talks about the status of the two-handed player in the game today.
I think it's really going the right way, and more people try it, more people do it, and even older guys are trying to do it. Like you see Walter Ray do it every now and then, and I mean, it's just very impressive to see a guy in his age and really try to do it, and he's actually pretty good at it. So, I mean, it's growing, and I think it's going to be close to 50-50 in a couple of years.
I'm actually gonna go home and try it.
Have you tried it before?
Yeah, I stink at it. I can't throw it fast enough, number one. I think I have to start with like a 10 or 12 pounder and work my way up from there.
There's the 7. Now, that's quite a statement. 50% of bowlers two-handed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'll ever get to that number because I mean, Jesper and Jason Simonson, they make it look easy. Osku Palermo, but it's not that easy. And I think I don't think it's going to get to 50%, but it certainly is growing. And Jesper, a lot like his last game, got off to a red-hot start, and then all of a sudden it was a 7-pin and now one through the nose.
224 in Jesper's first game. Tommy Jones had the high game for the first two we saw of the 8 bowlers of the 257.
And now Tommy Jones has the lowest game through 5.
4-7. Jesper Svensson has got it. Group 2 qualifying game 2 on Fresh Oil underway on CBS Sports Network. Group 2 game 2 here in Allen Park, Michigan. Tommy Jones striking the 7th frame. EJ Tackett, tremendous pickup of the split on a spare in his 7th frame. Got a spare as well.
Good re-rack, boss.
Off a re-rack, Jesper Svensson in his 8th frame.
He's lost his ball reaction.
Tackett, 8th frame for him. EJ, tremendous spare a moment ago, leaves a 4-pin this time.
EJ was able to make the 2-4-10 in the 7th. Tommy Jones in big trouble, 89 through 6.
Tommy struck in the 7th. We've got a nice round of applause from the crowd here at Allen Park. Frustrated with the 2nd game after bowling so well in the 1st. Spare for Tackett.
The 6-pin goes up and over the 10 like it got ejected.
Not your traditional ringing 10-pin, was it? Actually over, as opposed to wrapping around. Tommy Jones trying to heat up here. Didn't like that much, that's why.
Watch the 6. It kind of tried to go around and then it just got thrown into the back curtain.
That's a lot of power.
Well, there's not a player in the top 8 in this field that doesn't have power. If you want to know the direction of bowling today, look at these 8 players. It's a power game. Make no mistake about it.
Tough pickup, tough lead to be sure. 10-pin stand for Tommy Jones.
Remember, no players will be eliminated after 4 games, but the seeding will be determined after 4 games. Beauty. Jesper Svensson starts with a front 4, and he's at 227 right now, and he's high for all 4 players. And it's just so much like the last game we saw him bowl when he started with a front 5 and never doubled again, had an open and shot 224 in the opening game. EJ's moving deeper.
And back for EJ Tackett.
A lot of filth behind that release. Whew. Marshall Kent, possible 231. EJ Tackett, 232. And this man with a misses another
misses 7-pin. That's been emblematic. Jesper Svensson here tonight in suburban Detroit. That's happened a few times now.
Second one he's missed in 2 games. Tommy Jones max score 172, and for Jesper now it's 225. Messenger behind.
Gosh darn it.
Watch this. Head pin to the sidewall, comes screaming across. Looks like it's going to take the 10 out. Oh, good shot there by Jesper. That's a big shot for EJ because now his max score is 212.
Got it.
Two 4-bowler groups here. Allen Park to field both 4 games of qualifying in their respective groups and a different oil pattern each game. And the 4-game scratch total can use determine the seeding for separate step ladder finals from each group. So every pin counts. And no bonus pins this year.
No, sir. 212 for Tackett. His 2-game total, 448. Jesper Svensson with a strike here. His 2-game total, 449.
Wow.
Make that 447. 1 pin separating him and EJ. And now Marshall Kent. Marshall Kent can start to separate himself from the group.
2-3 in the first game for Marshall Kent.
Possible 231.
Is 11 going to re-rack?
And unfortunately, Tommy is handcuffed on this pattern.
Never could quite find his look. Kent has been consistent. Wow.
Jeez. He will
Everywhere in the pit, ring and 10 pin.
he will be your leader after 2 games. .220 for Marshall Kent gives him a 2-game total of 458. Tommy Jones 162 max. .419 total for Tommy Jones after 2.
After rolling a 257 to lead the way after the first game. So Marshall Kent, 458, 2-game score, 10-pin lead on EJ Tackett. Group 2, game 2 complete. Back to Group 1 when we return. Don Rash told us those great memories helping propel him this week.
And good start for Simonson. Sean Rash needs a big game. 58 back of Belmo and Simonson. And a good start for Sean.
.178 for Rash in game 1. 4-time and reigning player of the year. We spoke earlier in our broadcast tonight about Belmo trying to retain that status, stay on top, how hard he works, constantly adjusting his game. Footwork and speed to the foul line, things he told us today were so important, something he always works on. He is a big practicer.
You know what else I learned about Jason is that he's a runner. I didn't know he was a runner. He likes to run. He likes to get in the outback back home and just go for runs. And I'm like, do you take a taser with you or maybe a bang stick or something? You never know what you're going to run into. in the bush, right?
It depends how rural we're talking here. I mean, kangaroos are dangerous.
And you don't
you
want
do
to mess
not want to run into one.
No, you don't want to mess with a kangaroo. Big drift to the left. Uh-oh. Yeah, fell off balance there. It looked like he slipped going into the foul line. 2 for 8-10 for Dom, and he only gets 1, so it's 6-1 in the first for Dom Barrett. Watch this. Yeah, lost his footing there going into the foul line, and open frame in the first for Barrett, and can Belmo slide it? Nope. Open frame in the second for Belmonte.
Here's Dom Barrett. And hurry to get to the 1-3 pocket, leaves the 10-pin.
A little late coming around the corner there for Dom.
Simonson and Belmonte at 2:36 in game 1. You see the numbers in the scoreboard there in parenthesis. Marshall Kent, a great second game. And currently the leader, 458 his score through 2 games. This is the second game for Group 1. Missed 10-pin. That hurts Dom Barrett.
Back-to-back open frames for Dom. Remember, their total pinfall after 4 games on 4 different hole patterns will determine the seeding for the step-ladder finals.
So everyone's going to be around a long time in the PBA Tour Finals. We'll see a lot of these 8 great bowlers, the best 8 in the world in terms of earnings over the last 2.5 years, leading us to the PBA Tour Finals in 2018. Last year's winner, E.J. Tackett in Orlando. 10-pin for Ash.
That's a good 9.
He didn't like it out of his hand, but it sure ended up in a good spot.
Jason Belmonte shared the story with us today about meeting the family and also spending a lot of time with Hannah Barbashi. 10-pin there for him. Rash got his 10-pin. Hannah, Parkland School in Florida. That terrible tragedy, of course, at Stoneman High School, South Florida. Jason actually flew down and met with the family. A lot of the victims' families as well. And he spent the whole day bowling and talking about life on his social media outlets. In the next few days, you'll see some of the videos that Jason was able to record with that family. He said it was a life-altering experience. He got feeling very good about how much bowling has meant to the Carbashi family and how much the PBA Tour has helped them get through a very tough time.
Well, that was a great gesture on Jason's part, being so far away from home and still taking time out of his busy schedule to do that. And that's what makes athletes great, when they're able to give back. And Jason's one of those guys.
That looked good. Same for Rash. Now back to Simonson. The youngster, speaking of adversity, Anthony has overcome quite a bit in his life. He was on his own at 16 years old, he told us yesterday. Some family struggles. He actually supports his dad now with his bowling career. A lot of responsibility for a young man like that.
Yeah, I mean, what Anthony's doing for his father, taking care of his dad while he's going through some health issues, is pretty commendable. But you know, Simonson's such a likable guy. He just seems like the kind of guy that nothing really ever bothers him. He's always in a really good mood. And I think he's just real thankful for the opportunity that he has being out here. And obviously very thankful for the success that he's had at such an early age.
Turned pro early. Did not go to college, right to professional bowling. Back to Dom, and a little struggle there with the 10-pin, but it does go down for Dom Barrett. from Colchester, England.
I don't know why the last one missed. Should have got it.
That was almost 3 opens in a row to start. Simonson perfect. Through 5. Obviously, him and Belmo going a little bit faster pace. They've got more strikes. There's only 1 strike between Rash and Barrett on the right pair. Beauty there. Simonson, Belmo both with 236 on the Johnny Petraglia pattern for their first game. And Don Barrett, his first strike.
Don Barrett struggling for sure, only a 205 in that first game. Now you can get 24/7 scores, breaking news, and up to the minute highlights streaming across devices, live and free on the all-new CBS Sports HQ. All 10 back. Just shrapnel the pit, Randy, when Jason Belmonte's up. Boom! He's something else. Moving ahead, Jason Belmonte. Fourth frame for Sean Rash, had a spare. In his 5th 10-pin spare, Rash struck in the 6th and 7th. Simonson, there you see his stats. 10-pin spare in the 6th, a strike in the 7th. Barrett working on a strike in the 5th frame, left a 2-8-10, only the 2-pin down, so he left the 8-10 open frame, struck in the 6th. So back to Belmo here. He had a 236 along with Simonson in the first game. 2 games for each 4-bowler group. And our first show from the PBA Tour Finals here in Allen Park, Michigan. Seventh frame for Belmonte. Looks for the 4-bagger. On the right lane. Got it.
The only thing missing on that shot was the turn signal when it went left.
Tremendous ball reaction. Barrett trying to get hot here.
Well, he's moved.
Cannot find the look.
Excuse me, Dave. He moved in, and he's trying to kind of get away from that trap to the right. Something similar to what Tommy Jones did in our opening match, or opening game, I should say. But right now, it's all about this man and Simonson. Simonson's going at a 230 pace, but he can shoot 279, and Belmonte can shoot 256 with an open.
Eighth frame for Belmo. Oh, 10 back in the pit again for Jason Belmonte.
Running it out, too. You don't think this is important to Jason Belmonte? Well, think again. Don Barrett's going at a 162 clip. And Sean Rash is clean through 7 and at 207. Now Simonson stepping up here in the 8th, working on a strike.
They call him Simo. 2-pin for the youngster from Texas. I like his demeanor too, Randy. I'm with you on that. Unflappable young man. Back to Don Barrett. 7-pin count.
Getting back to Simonson, he's got so much on his plate, but yet he just comes off as being so carefree, and he's such a good bowler. What a talented player. He can do a lot of different things. You know, I watched him win an extra frame event last year in Wilmington, North Carolina, and when everybody was lofting it and trying to throw it halfway down the lane, he was lofting it kind of in a straight line. So instead of up and on the lane, it was kind of flat and on the lane. And it made his ball skid through the front way better than everybody else's, read the pattern beautifully, and he ended up winning.
Figured it out. His ninth frame, ringing 10-pin.
Good shot. Belmonte in good position now to lead. Rash needs some help.
He didn't like it.
Gets it.
But got the strike. That's all that matters for Sean Rash.
Seems like the score is coming off the right pair, a little bit tougher, a little bit lower than that of the left pair. Simonson now max score 248. Belmonte can shoot 256. Rash can shoot 247 and a max score of 179 for Don Barrett. He likes it. And of course it's a ring 10. Boy, his carry wasn't very good on the Petraglia pattern and not all that great on this pattern. Big shot here for Jason.
Looking for half a dozen in a row. Belmonte. Wow. All 10 back again. There's some energy and emotion from Jason Belmonte. Six backer.
Watch where this ball ends up once it goes through the pins. Belmonte playing so deep out to about 7. I mean, that ball ends up to the left side of the 8 pin, and it's literally throwing pins sideways into the 9. I mean, that stuff is just dirty. Something. It's a foreign game I know nothing about.
Belmo stays red hot. Locked in and feeling it. Don Barrett still searching for that look. That comes in and crosses over. 3-10 up for him.
And like I said, that right pair does not look fun. And Don Barrett in jeopardy of bowling a really low game. Again, 4 games of qualifying on 4 different patterns, determining the seeds in the step-ladder finals.
Monty would like to be the top seed. Shots like that, he may just get there. Number 1 seed of the event coming in. Tremendous look. And what a game he's put together here.
Well, whether you agree with the two-handed style or not, whether you like it or you hate it, you certainly have to appreciate this man's talent.
8 straight strikes. Barrett, double 1-2-8. Looking for 9 in a row. Not quite this time. Barrett punched through that 2-8 number wood. Belmonte pumped up 255 for Belmo after 236 in the first game.
491 total. Belmonte will be Group 1's leader after 2 games.
And the overall leader, Marshall Kent, 458 through 2 games. Two groups, Marshall Kent 458, his 2 games. So he's the leader of that group. I just meant the overall score. Combined. But it has to do with the groups, I'm with you.
Yeah, but Belmonte's still higher than that.
That's right. I said that, 491.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Simonson finished in style here. That's good news for Anthony Simonson. And here's Sean Rash. Got it right. 1-2-8-10.
Out of bounds, redo.
You heard him say it, out of bounds, redo. That shot definitely south of target, no doubt. Or I guess east of target. Not very good at direction either.
Off target, bottom line. Bit high there, 4-pin for Simonson.
247 for Simo.
Jason Belmonte, the group leader. Tremendous 2-game effort. Top-ranked player of the world.
Real close there. Anything can happen with two games to go on 2 different oil patterns.
Show one of the books, qualifying rounds 1 and 2 from Allen Park, Michigan. Now for my Hall of Fame broadcast partner, Randy Peterson, and the entire CBS Sports Network.